time for chapter 4 today. It's called Picnicking. And there's a rather nice picture. I think it's Henny with the children at the seaside, at the beach. So, let's see. On the beach, Henny and the good children were picnicking. They had gone down early to make sure of their favourite spots before any holiday makers should get it. It was in a narrow triangular cleft between two big rocks at the base of the cliffs. Once they had parked themselves there, no one else could get in, and they thought of this little patch of sand with its rocky walls as a kind of second home. At the back of it there was actually a small cave, in which if it rained they could seek cover. The children would strew their belongings around and drape their towels on the rocks, and when they went down to the beach to play or to bathe, they would barricade the entrance to their chosen place with spades and buckets. Barney had made a notice board out of cardboard with strings attached so that it could be hung on a spade, and had let Rhodey write the notice with a big red felt pen. It said, "Kep out." Look. This morning the children had been swimming already. Angela was a strong swimmer, ready to act as lifeguard if anyone needed help. Barney swam well, Eleanor quite well, Rosie a bit, and Rowley sploshed about with his armbands on. Henny took off her shoes and stockings, rolled up her skirt and paddled. Now everyone was very hungry, so they decided to have the picnic early. The goods picnics were always the same, sandwiches and fruit. Each child had an apple and a banana, but the sandwiches varied from picnic to picnic according to whose turn it was to choose what should be in them. If it was Angela's, for example, she always chose cheese. And so then they all had cheese sandwiches. Barney always chose peanut butter, Eleanor Marmite, Rosie strawberry jam, and Rowley golden syrup sandwiches. Sticky. On this day it had actually been Eleanor's turn. "So it's Marmite," said her mother. "No," said Eleanor. "You want to change? You always have Marmite." "No, let Henny choose," said Eleanor. "Oh, good girl," her mother said. "Henny, what's your favourite sandwich?" "Oh, I don't think I'd better tell you," said Henny. "They'd be too much trouble to make, and the children might not like them." "No, I'd better not say." "Oh, go on, Henny," they all cried. "Well, it's prawn and mayonnaise. I had one on the train coming here. It was delicious." "No trouble," said Mary Good, "and I'm sure the children will like them." "I shan't," said Rowley. But when it came to it, he bolted his sandwiches like a wolf. "Nice, Rowley?" said Henny. "All right." "Nicer than golden syrup?" asked Rosie. "He would probably have liked a prawn and mayonnaise and golden syrup sandwich," said Barney. "I would," said Rowley. "Can I have an ice cream now?" No one answered. Further along the beach there was a little cafe that sold ice creams, and when the children's parents were there, they could usually be persuaded to treat them. Rowley in particular considered that grown-ups had a duty to provide ice creams. "Can I, Henny?" he said again. "Please." "Who's going to pay for it?" said Henny. "You are. I've only got a penny." "And I haven't brought any money with me," said Angela. "Nor me," said the other three. Rowley sighed, shaking his head. "You know, Henny, you'll have to earn some money," he said. "You'll have to get a job." And he took the "Kep out" notice off his spade and went to dig a hole. "As a matter of fact," said Henny to the others, "I've got one. I got it this morning before we came down to the beach." "That's wonderful," said Angela. "What job have you got?" "Housemaid." "Housemaid," they cried. "What does that mean? What will you have to do?" "Oh, some cleaning, some ironing, some mending, that sort of thing." "But where?" "Here in Saltmouth." "Whereabouts in Saltmouth?" "A place called Ivy Cottage." There was a pause of perhaps 3 seconds while this sank in, before the 4 older children let out a whoop of delight. "That's marvellous," said Angela. "That's great," said Barney. "Ace," said Eleanor. "Brill," said Rosie. Rowley, busy digging, had not properly understood. "I just wish I could have an ice cream," he kept muttering. "And so you shall," said Henny. "Angela, where's the nearest place that sells them?" "There's a cafe," said Angela, "over there." "But, Henny, you haven't any money." Don't worry about that, said Henny. You just stay here and look after the others. I won't be long. As she walked along the beach, Henny remembered another of her mother's many sayings. Honesty is the best policy. And when she reached the cafe, she said to the owner, I want 6 large ice cream cornets, please, but I think I should warn you that this is all the money I have. And she took from her purse that last penny and put it on the counter. The man stared at her very directly, Henny noted. Are you asking me, he said, to give you £3 worth of ice cream for a penny? Yes, said Henny. She unstrapped her rich wristwatch and handed it to him. You keep this, she said, till I can pay you. It's old but reliable, like me. I have an honest face, wouldn't you say? The man looked more closely still at this odd little grey-haired lady, and thought, as people often did, of Henrietta Thrift, that he had seldom seen such an open, friendly, and patently honest face as this. Which flavour would you like, madam? He said. Strawberry! Shouted Rhodey when Henny arrived back, 3 pink cornets in each hand. Lush! But how? Began Angela. Henny winked at her. Ask me no questions, she said, and I'll tell you no lies, as my mother used to say. Now here's a picture of Henny coming back to the children. Now you see the ice creams in her hand and the children's faces. Very excited. Rowley took a long lick of his ice cream. How old's your mother, Henny? He said. She'd be 100 this year, said Henny, if she was still alive. Dead, is she? Said Rowley. Yes, she died years and years ago. So did my father. I'm not just a stray, I'm an orphan too. But you're not a stray any more, Henny, said Angela, now that you're going to live with us. Rowley pricked up his ears. Are you? He said. Yes. In the flat? Yes. Good, said Rowley happily. Then you can buy ice creams every day. He took another long, slobbery lick. Too many sweet things are bad for your teeth, said Henny. Dad's always telling us that, said Barney. You're lucky having a dentist for a father, said Henny. I bet you've all got wonderful teeth. We have, said Eleanor. Look, said Rosie, and she drew back her lips and bared her teeth at Henny, and then the rest did the same. Show us yours, Henny, said Rowley. No fear, said Henny. Mine are ugly old yellow things, those I've got left. I never took proper care of them when I was young. Why not? Asked Eleanor, terrified of the dentist. Are you frightened of Dad, then? Asked Rosie. I would be if I was sitting in his dentist chair. He's ever so gentle, said Barney. He never hurts us a bit. That's because you've all got perfect teeth that don't need anything doing to them. I bet he'd hurt me. Well, what do you do if you get a toothache? Asked Angela. I grin and bear it, said Henny. She took a mouthful of her ice cream. Ooh, it's cold, she said. Then suddenly she gave a little jump and clapped a hand to her cheek. Ow! She cried. What has happened to Henny? She's got toothache, perhaps, from the cold ice cream. Well, I wonder what will happen with her poorly tooth. We find out next time in Chapter 5. Bye-bye.